to say, yeah, we're going to repeal Obamacare, but we're going to send more money to the people who've already gotten the richest over the last 10 years. I mean, that's what this does, no? I'm not a leftist, it's just that's true.
Way is the biggest welfare program ever sponsored, and quite frankly, it undermines the work ethic. It increases greater reliance on welfare from the federal government. Ultimately, it's going to result in the demise of our country, or at least contribute to our debilitating insolvency and bankruptcy.
For all of the people who have concerns about this, especially on the right, look at the size. This is the Democrats, this is us. There is, I mean, you can't get any clearer in terms of this is government, this is not.
First, she's a national treasure. But the second, that is the most aggressively stupid thing I've ever seen. And I just saw Jason Chaffetz suggest paying for health insurance by retroactively not buying an iPhone.
Republicans reveal their long-awaited replacement for Obamacare.
House Republicans roll out a revamped health care plan.
It is finally here. Oh, yes, the Republican plan to replace Obamacare.
The American Health Care Act.
Yes, it's finally here, the American Health Care Act.
Tax credits to help pay for premiums. Someone under the age of 30 would get $2,000. Someone 60 and older would get $4,000.
Say you live in Woodward County, Oklahoma. You're 60 years old and you earn, say, $50,000 a year. Under Obamacare, you'd get $13,350 towards insurance. But under the new bill, that will drop down to just $4,000. That is over 2/3 less. And it's not one of those 2/3 decreases that you barely notice, like when Robin and Barry of the Bee Gees died. I'm kidding.
Let me just describe exactly what this bill does for conservatives. This is why I'm so excited about it, and this is why I think people need to see the forest through the trees. We are defederalizing an entitlement, block granting it back to the states, and capping its growth rate.
But Americans have choices, and they've got to make a choice. And so maybe rather than getting that new iPhone that they just love and they want to go spend hundreds of dollars on that, maybe they should invest it in their own health care.
That is complete bullshit. Going to be hurt by this bill. And those hit the hardest, who stand to lose $5,000 or more under the new plan, are, ironically, a group that voted for Trump by a huge margin, which is pretty frustrating. It's like if the people of Pompeii voted for the volcano.
Wealthy Americans are set to get a sizable tax break under the GOP's health care bill, and the ultra-wealthy will see an even bigger tax cut. Some of those in the top 1% of incomes will get a tax break of around $33,000.
Wow.
Those in the top 0.1% would get an average tax cut of about $197,000 under the GOP plan.
Yeah, we're going to repeal Obamacare, but we're going to send more money to the people who've already gotten the richest over the last 10 years. I mean, that's what this does, no? I'm not a leftist, it's just that's true.
6 pages of this bill is devoted to letting states disenroll high-dollar lottery winners.
Okay, so a not insignificant percentage of this bill is focused on the urgent matter of what if one poor person suddenly becomes less poor? I'm honestly surprised they didn't also have a section covering what would happen in the event of a Freaky Friday type situation. If the Medicaid recipient Freaky Fridays into the body of an individual living above 138% of the federal poverty line, states are obligated to de-enroll recipient until recipient Freaky Fridays back, using wish or magic not otherwise specified. Putting aside the prop comedy of the star of Mike and Molly, the White House has been pretty hands-off with this bill. And is there really any way, deep down, that Trump has actually read this thing, given that he recently said this?
We have come up with a solution that's really, I think, very good. Now, I have to tell you, it's an unbelievably complex subject. Nobody knew that healthcare could be so complicated.
Everybody knew that! Everybody knew!
Unbelievably complex subject. Nobody knew that healthcare could be so complicated.
Everybody knew that! Everybody knew healthcare is complicated. Literally everybody. It is the one thing people know about healthcare. It's complicated.
By any other name? Trump care?
I'll call it Trump care if you want to, but I didn't hear President Trump say to any of us, "Hey, I want my name on that."
Holy shit!
The Trumpism of the healthcare reform, the Trumpiest parts of it were transparency in pricing, competition across state lines, and even on the edges, repealing the McCarran-Ferguson Act. Where is that in this plan?
Oh, I'll tell you, it's not in there. He is pushing a healthcare bill that is missing a lot of what he said he wanted, and that is the kind of top-shelf deal-making that you can read all about in his best-selling book, The Art of the... Wait, what was the deal I wanted again? Oh, I forget. Well, anyway, let's talk about how hot my daughter is, right, fellas? Va-va-boom!
Constant refrain that I hear. Where are these Republicans? Why aren't they fanning out over every swing state? I mean everybody. You campaign in your own state, I get it. But this should be a push for the ending of the corruption in Washington. I know we're going to get to the Obamacare story, but I just think voters you've got to be kidding me. We finally have a chance to retire the Clintons. Finally. And you're not anywhere to be found? You got to be kidding me.
I'm glad you brought up Obamacare because I was watching Bret Baier last night, and it was a Fox News alert that we've just found out premiums are going up. Double digits. This was Nancy Pelosi when they promised us what Obamacare was going to do for our country. Affordable, affordable, affordable.
I guess not so much.
That was compelling rhetoric. Look, this is a lie that's been told and retold, and so many lapdogs in the American media just suck that up and spit it out in headline after headline. And we now know the truth. Doctors leaving en masse. Your premiums are doubling, in some cases tripling. Mine have gone up, I think, about 36%. 6%. About 36%. And we have fewer choices in insurance companies. Now all these insurers are pulling out of Obamacare exchanges. A lot of doctors are now deciding they can't make it with Medicare. I mean, they've created a system that was designed to fail. They can't make it with these. Mine have gone up, I think, about 36%. And we have fewer choices in insurance companies. Now all these insurers are pulling out of Obamacare exchanges. A lot of doctors are now deciding they can't make it with these low Medicare. A system that was designed to fail. We know that now. Hillary has no problem, and she ultimately wanted a single payer, ultimate government control system for health care. It was never about patients. It was always about redistributing wealth.